game in Sale.
They have got a big game. We'll look ahead to that. Now, it must have been a bit of a wrench for you to leave Wasps to go across to Saracens. There'd be certain reasons why you would have gone. Maybe you'll tell us what they are and how many of them, ka-ching, there were. But you must be pinching yourself that you have continued your rise so quickly through the ranks. Yeah,
I suppose I started off the season playing a bit more than what I thought I would be. Owen's injury gave me that chance, really, and I was just determined to put my best foot forward and do the job for the team when they needed me.
Goody, what about this guy? What makes him so good?
He's immensely talented. I remember when we played at Wasps together, I used to say to him, everything that I do, just do the opposite, you'll be a good player, because he could run, he could beat someone with great footwork, brilliant kicker of the ball as well. But he's obviously matured over the last few games actually at Saracens and this year, and we were coached by Stephen Jones. He was a brilliant mentor for both of us, both the youth and the aged, when we were at Wasps. And now he's got Charlie Hodgson obviously at Saracens as well to talk to, but obviously Owen Farrell, so brilliant talent. Obviously we know his dad quite well as well. Yeah. So there's a bit of history there.
Yeah, I don't know how much help, how much of an inspiration your father is. Rob Lazowski, you would have played with Rob. I played against Rob. He got one cap for England, so you've only got to play twice for England to overtake your dad and have bragging rights in the household. But can you see a few similarities between the young Alex and Rob?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, very talented player, his father. Really enjoyed playing alongside him. I mean, obviously, every rugby player wants to play, and Alex will probably be the first one to say maybe the opportunities that weren't coming as frequently as he would have liked at Wasps. So it was a shame, but he decided to make the move, and I think sometimes you make the move and it comes off, and sometimes it doesn't. I think in Alex's case, as soon as he's arrived at Saracens, that gets an injury to Owen Farrell. He's had 5 or 6 games for Saracens and he's straight in the England squad. So it's been a really, really fantastic.
Yeah, it has been outstanding. And there was one moment early on in the season which made me laugh, made a lot of us laugh. Nice chuckle. It was Saracens against Wasps. So maybe some of the Wasps players have got a little bit of an edge thinking, and here is Nathan Hughes. He's lined you up. You don't hold back. You pile into him. And Lawrence, that's what you want to see from the young man. But it is your reaction next. Looking cool, check the hair, hammer thinking, and wait for it. And, that was a big old hit. But you're clearly quite happy with the rough stuff.
Yeah, well, I think when you see Nathan running at you, you know that you're going to have to try and hit him your hardest, because if you don't, you're going to get bowled over. So, I just sort of chuck my body in front there and hope for the best, really.
Well, hats off to you with the way things are going. Give him a round of applause. Absolutely. Well done indeed. Now, to make the rest of us feel comfortable, back to the good old days. Our next guest was one of the pillars upon which Jack Rao built his Bath dynasty. He is unmistakable and quite remarkable, famed for his bizarre training regimes and phenomenal longevity, a roller coaster of an international career which spanned 14 years. Please welcome Nigel Ollie Redman. Good to see you. Ollie, it's really, really good to see you. A familiar face that accompanied me and haunted me at various times through my rugby career. Great to have you here. A little bit of a limp as you walked in. Those years catching up with you.
Yeah, it's. I suppose it's when you play those types of games against people your size, Bafe. It does have a toll on you. And now I'm getting a new knee for Christmas, so I'm really looking forward to it.
We're excited for you that you're getting your new knee.
I can see it in your face how excited you are.
But one of the things that we always used to be, we used to laugh and be amazed at in equal measure were your training regimes that you put yourself through. I remember a picture of you doing some exercise, being hit in the stomach by a Turkish wrestler with a piece of 4x2. Yeah, Not everyone did that.
Well, perhaps more people should have. Look, it was a bizarre time. As I said, I was in competition with the likes of you, Wade Dooley, Paul Ackford, all these huge men, and I thought, I've got to do something different. So there was a spit and sawdust gym right in the heart of Bristol. There was a big Iranian ex-wrestler. And I walked in one day and I said, I want you to train me. And he trained me for a while, and one day he said, Nigel, you're a very strong man now. He said, you're very strong. He said, I need to take training up. I said, brilliant. He said, yes, you're very strong. He said, now when you train, he said, I hit you with bat. And I said, brilliant. And he said, hit me with a cricket bat. And then he said, now he said, you were very strong. You're very strong. He said, I hit you with stick. And then it went to, I hit you with club. And then one day, he very proudly brought out these 44-pound hand-carved Indian clubs. And he said, now, he said, you reach top. He said, I hit you with club while you train. So we trained at that for a bit, which was great. And he threw medicine balls at me. Then he got on tables and threw medicine balls at me. And then came the meeting of creativity and innovation met pragmatism. Because he came to me one day, it was just before the 91 World Cup. And he said, Nigel, he said, I'm very proud of you. He said, you're very, very strong. He said, and this guy was a massive bloke. He said, when I hit you, he said, I hit you here. He said, you're fine. I hit you here. I hit you on stomach, you're fine. Leg, fine. Now, he said, I take bat. He said, I hit you here. I said, no. He said, no. He said, first time, very painful. Second time, very painful. He said, then much, much better. I said, no. And in fairness, I'd never seen a guy so disappointed.
Brilliant. That's the story. And the accent as well. It's all there. It's all there. Now, I mentioned your roller coaster career. First cap, you would have won your first cap with Rob against Australia in 1984. And then that career goes on through to 1997 internationally, ending up with this, captaining the Lions twice on the Lions tour in 1997. Phenomenal career. I wish we had time to go through the ups and downs. When you run through your selections and being dropped, it is absolutely outstanding. But now, a very, very different approach. You're now working with British Swimming.
Yes.
How did that happen, and what does it entail?
I had 10 years with the rugby union, coached a lot of the youngsters who've come through and now in the senior side. And then I went into coach development, so working with top coaches. And coaches were saying to me, both, the rugby union used to lend me out to organisations like UK Sport. And the more we talked about philosophy and principles and understanding coaching, and people would say the thing is, at the sharp end, when you've got the threat of the sack, then, it's very difficult. So I thought, I've been provoked. So the very first opportunity, I'm going to explore the Premiership again because I want to do this because I think I can. And so I wanted to work under the threat of the sack. So I got a call from Richard Hill. It came in my 10th year, so I literally had the handshake and the raise in the pension and everything. And I said, I'm leaving. I'm going to Worcester. And in fairness, we went to Worcester and it was great, and I was sacked. So
you got everything you wished for.
It was brilliant, yeah, because I had my principles and everything. But I thought, no, actually, I've done what I wanted to do. And then I sort of had 9 months in the wilderness. I worked for a business school, and then I had this opportunity as swimming came up. And I'd worked with a lot of the Olympic sports, and I thought, this is brilliant. And it was at a time where swimming was in transition. They'd had some problems themselves over the years, and a new leadership team. They got some wonderful people, really hard-working coaches, support team. And my job really was to work with the coaches, the support team at the Rio Games, and get them to work together as a team, see themselves as a team. And we won 6 medals, so we doubled our medal target, and now everything's full steam ahead for Tokyo.
Absolutely outstanding. Do you think that rugby can learn a bit from swimming, and maybe from you? You almost become the go-between rugby and swimming.
I think we can learn from any environment we're in. It's almost taking off the shackles of our experiences and just saying, hey, what's going on here, and how, and be interested, be curious, ask questions rather than say, yeah, I know that. Because too often, people will go, yeah, we do that. Oh, yeah, I know that. Or principles, and yeah, they're great, but yeah, we're doing that already. It's actually taking time to say, right, what does that mean? What does that mean for my team? How do we actually establish a sense of purpose? Because people will go, what do you mean purpose? No, no, this is what we're doing, this is how we're doing it. I said, no, why are we doing it? What's the bigger meaning for this? Why are we actually, what's the emotional attachment? What's in it for us? What gets us out of bed in the morning?
Yeah. Now, you, of course, would have been coached, well, you were coached by a very interesting character in Jack Rowell at Bath.
Yes.
We now have a very interesting character looking after the England team in Eddie Jones. What do you make of him? What do you make of this regime that he's building around him?
I think that it's very difficult to sort of see any chinks at the moment. I mean, I know he's a hard taskmaster. They seem to be playing and responding well to him. I suppose it's like anything, Martin. As soon as, when things are going well, everyone's happy and people will fall in line. One of the things we talked about in Rio was when we win things, let's not get too excited, and when we lose things, let's not get too disappointed. Let's bring those peaks and troughs down so that we're more consistent. I suppose with that said, it's going to be interesting to see what happens when something does go wrong, whether they can hold it together and work through it. Because at the moment they're going really well, they're riding high, and yeah, I'm sure there will be some challenging times ahead. Those are the times when you find out whether people are on side and on board or not.
The fascinating thing, of course, is Alex Lawrence is moving into an era with England where this is the norm. Yeah. England winning, and this setup is the norm. Very different for some of the players, like, for instance, Chris Robshaw in particular. Very, very different. When you look at that performance for England against South Africa, did you think that actually now we're seeing a performance where England, the characters are starting to come through? The individual characters, not just the block, simple, this is England. All the individuals are coming through.
Yeah, characters, but there's a lot of confidence that's come into the squad. And, you talk about performance, that we hadn't beaten South Africa for 10 years. This was a group of players that wanted to do this for the first time. And, they wanted to go out there and prove that they could have that game plan. And it's interesting because Eddie Jones, talk about keeping your feet on the floor, he's marked that as a 6 out of 10 performance, which, when you put a decent over 30 points on South Africa, it's the first time you've won in 10 years. Maybe previous England coaches might have got a little bit carried away with that. He feels there is enormous room for improvement. And I think we're creating this competition. I think he's fundamentally aware that we've got a long way to go to get to become the very best side in the world. But it's about getting world-class players in several positions. And, certainly if we look at where we are now compared to where we were 12 months ago, we've taken a massive step forward.
Goody, when you look at England's performance, it gets a 6 out of 10 from Eddie Jones. What on earth would South Africa have got? This is a tweet from Joel Stransky. Bitterly disappointing. Springboks' performance. Selection was poor, game plan poor, execution poor, culture damaged, desperate times. Now, he is not... No player is going to say that about their team if they think it's just a slight aberration. There is clearly something rotten at the heart of South African rugby. Can you put your finger on it? Could you see what it might be?
We talked about politics on the show the other week, didn't we, about the quotas, etc. And is that the right thing to do short term against long term? Willem Alberts came out and said it was the players, it wasn't the game plan that was the issue. But they're in dire straits at the minute. I can't see where a win's coming from. Obviously, they've got Italy this weekend, who will fancy their chances. And they just looked devout of ideas, didn't they? I couldn't see how they were trying to attack. Yes, they picked a massive team in terms of the power, but they just didn't ever get over the game line at all. England dominated the breakdown. And, for me, South Africa, they've got so many questions to answer. Pat Lambie at 10, was he the right player? Houston came on and went really well. But for me, they just seemed devout of ideas, which was not South African-like for me.
Lawrence, let's have a look at the squad that Eddie Jones has picked now for the Fiji game. Alex, you're not going to be happy about this because your name isn't on it, but you're young and you've got lots to look forward to, so don't worry too much. This is what we're looking at, forwards and backs. Lawrence, when you look at that, let's look at the forwards to start with. I wouldn't have thought too many changes there. Any big surprises?
Well, no, Dave Atwood obviously has had to go back to Bath when, he's got a sore knee, I think. So Charlie Ewels comes in, he can cover, second row and back row. I know he's incredibly well thought of. Obviously, Tom Wood's come back, lasted one cap. He's then gone back to Northampton. Tamana Harrison gets another opportunity. Nathan Hughes will start. I think it's a big game for him to prove what he could do, not just coming off the bench, but in that starting role. And it's pretty much business as usual, really. They've got a nice settled team, and you don't want to be making too many changes up front in what will be a tough game because it can get quite loose against Fiji. And I think that England will want to bring that structure to the game early on.
What about this selection of Nathan Hughes then into the squad? Lawrence mentioned about in the media section about the question marks over residency, and he said quite clearly in the press he came for the money. It's a lot of money when you look at the discrepancy between what an England player gets, what a Fijian international gets. Goody, what do you make of that?
Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Because obviously it's not Nathan's fault the laws are what they are. So the 3-year residency rule, personally, I don't agree with it. I don't think 3 years is enough to qualify to play for your country, but it's not Nathan's fault. The All Blacks have been doing it for years in poaching players or whatever from Tonga, Samoa and Fiji as well. So every country's doing it. I think it's down to World Rugby to try and sort out what's the best route to go down, because do you start off at a school age? They have education in that country. There's so many questions. But, Nathan Hughes has been a brilliant player for Wasps for 3 years. Thoroughly deserves his opportunity to play for England. It's not his fault. The laws are what they are. He's obviously exploited them, and hopefully for the better of England rugby, because he's a brilliant player.
Nigel, when you look at the money involved, it is huge. An England player will get about £22,000 per game for England. Fijians are looking at about £400 a game. That's a huge discrepancy. Twickenham generates millions of pounds in every game. In your heart or in your head, where do you think that money should go? Do you think more should go to the visiting teams?
Oh, what a great question. Look, they If it's an entertainment and they're part of that entertainment, then yeah, why not? Why not bring the best in? Why not look after them when they're here? I don't know what I don't know what's at stake as far as who sets those tariffs, who set those levels. But yeah, is it level? Obviously not. Would Fiji play any different if they had more money? I doubt it, because they probably play for their country, their badge, and each other. You know, so does that make it right? No.
Yeah.
You know, it's a commercial world. So if there were two boxers, one gets more than the other, but is it that much difference? Again, I'm not sure.
It is
they're putting on a show.
It is a huge discrepancy. I mean, the thing is, I'll say, you know, I won my first cap alongside you in Fiji in 1991. That's the last time England played a game in Fiji. That's a long, long time for them not to welcome the big teams.
The thing for me, though, is perhaps England should play more in Fiji to actually bring them down and to understand more about the cultures they're playing against, so that actually they understand a little bit more about what it's like not to have some of these things that we have. So I don't know, perhaps we could learn from doing that as well.
Absolutely, no, I agree with you wholeheartedly on that one. Well, Eddie Jones is approaching a year in charge of his England team. He's kept things fresh with his playing roster, and he's done the same thing with his coaching team. Neil Hatley, the last coach to be drafted in. We caught up with him at England's training base at Pennyhill Park.
We haven't been in for 10 years, so, you know, a good win on the day. To score 5 tries against South Africa, I thought was a good performance. We need to scrummage better on our ball. You know, we're very good on our own ball from a line-up point of view, and maybe a little bit disappointed with that they got they're more going and squeezed a penalty from that. In the past, you'd have talked about Fiji from an unstructured point of view, and in terms of what they do, ball carrying and offloading. You know, they've developed more than that. They've got a lot of players who are playing in Europe. A lot of these players now are, you know, their skills are much more home from a set-piece point of view. So they're better scrum, they're better line-up, better maulers. So, you know, we know it's going to be a hell of a battle again. From what we expect from Rocker, you've seen him so far in the Premiership this season. He set it alight. He's been very good under the high ball. You know, if you're looking at their left winger, who's probably the height of Ben Kay and heavier than Dave Flatman, you know, there's a real threat there. And, you know, we think, you know, if he's selected, that Rock can potentially match the power there as well. Nathan is a big ball runner. He's done that for Wasps consistently over the last 2 years. He stops people on the line. You know, he's an abrasive defender, and for a big man, he actually he gets over the ball well. So, you know, he brings a lot of real plus points to the team.
Yes, of course, there's some good players that England are going to have to play against. We're going to focus our demonstration today on that first phase try that England scored against South Africa. And what was particularly pleasing was good to see that 10 minutes into the game, England were prepared to go off the top, go wide, attack the wide channels, and really hold that inside South African defence. Alex, you were in the England camp last week. I mean, presumably, knowing the way South Africa defend, they're really, especially early on in the game, they're really interested in that physical confrontation, particularly in the midfield. Yeah. Was that something you talked about, getting on the outside of South Africa early in the game?
Yeah, I think, you know, with their personnel in the midfield, they're hitting centres, and sometimes they can get a bit personal when they're defending and, you know, watch the man on the dummy line. So instead of watching the pass. So, yeah, those lines that Owen and Elliot ran were perfect, straight, really straight on their inside shoulders, and, you know, didn't allow them to swim off. So
if we just bring it up on a sort of graphic, we can have a look at it. It was off the top from Courtney Laws to Billy Vunipola, and then we got 2 holding lines, Goody. We got one run from Farrell, and then the other one run from Daly, just to hold that South African midfield.
Yeah, it was great. What I loved, obviously, first line out off the top, over the going wide as well, and Farrell's line was really key. Pat Lambie sat down for him, and then obviously Elliot Daly came short, and the space was on the outside, finished it off really well. So why don't we have a look at how it went about?
I'll go with Billy Vunipola, obviously slightly slimmed down version. We get the ball off the top. Alex is going to play the role of George Ford, and if we break it down just to look exactly what England did before we run it in full time.
Yeah, perfect.
So off the top, Billy takes the ball, brings William Alberts on, and then this is the first pocket.
Yeah, we'll just stop it there. So Pat Lambie really bites in hard on Owen Farrell coming, and a really conviction line. And then obviously George Ford, a.k.a. Alex Lazowski, gets the ball on the outside behind him, and then Elliot Daly runs a real hard line as well, which sits down Venter. Delande is obviously bitten in on George Ford as well. Venter comes in and bites in on Elliot Daly, and then it goes onto the outside, a simple 3v2. So let's just run it through at full speed and show you how it goes. I say full speed, it'll be about my pace from when I played.
It was really interesting to see England giving away 6 or 7 penalties at the beginning. The first opportunity they got to go off the top, it was fantastic that they were prepared to have a go. So we have a go at full speed. Billy takes it in, pulls it back.
There we
just
go.
About.
Little 3v2, and Johnny May finishes it in the corner. Yay! Great cheer.
Excellent, well done. Don't worry, no, don't give me the ball, I'll only drop it. Excellent stuff. Bravo, well done, gentlemen. Now we have more chat about the autumn internationals after the break, including a look at the All Blacks' demolition of Italy. So much more to come. We'll see you after the break.
Yeah, you'll just get some new boots.
When it comes to sport, every detail matters. And this November, we're bringing you more 4K than ever before. More drama, more passion, more reaction, more detail, more in 4K UHD. BT Sport, the home of 4K ultra high definition.
With BetVictor's Golden Goal, you get a free weekly prediction to guess the game's first scorer and the minute it's scored. You can win serious money. Okay, I've guessed the player, but what minute should I go for? Let's ask the Liverpool manager what he thinks, shall we?
Statistically, most of the goals are scored in the 45th and in the 90th minute. But actually, the average time for the first goal is the 31st minute. But this weekend, who knows? First goal wins.
Big night, eh?
Big day. See, the boss is going to dump a mountain of work on my desk, expected sorted within an hour, before I race to a meeting, do a massive presentation, rush back to work, plough through the sales reports, covering for Jonesy as usual, then dinner with the in-laws.
Big days start with Barocca.
Good morning. Can I help you?
We're here to switch banks.
Let's grab a seat.
Our old bank in Bedrock is okay, but they're still living in the Stone Age.
Well, the good news is we give you £100 when you switch your current account to us.
Well, that sounds great.
Any idea what you're going to spend your £100 on?
I've got it. Something to improve the performance of my car. That's better.
All right, guys.
Place your odds.
Second one.
Christmas tree. This Christmas, be together even when you're apart. We have made our network even bigger and better, so we've got you covered.
We sent men beyond our atmosphere, but the open space gave way to an insurgency.
We will break that!
Captain's dead. So who has the con, Gator?
I believe you do, sir.
Salt, you with me?
Always.
Captain's place is on the bridge. Not this captain.
If you don't make that kind of choice, you have no place being in command.
Turn the ship around!
I'm the pilot of this ship. It's my job to make sure that we get
I gave you a direct order!
Kill him.
You lack what it takes to win this war.
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Available now. Play map packs 30 days early. Only on PlayStation 4. For the players.
I'm sitting in a railway station, got a ticket for my destination. On a tour of one-night stands, my suitcase and guitar in hand, and every stop is neatly planned for a poet and a one-man band. Homeward bound, I wish I was home.
The fight is on.
this month in the BT TV store.
End of the world.
They're coming back.
Warp us out of here, Mr. Zulu. You are Lord of the Apes, King of the Jungle. Tarzan. Tarzan.
Bigger than the last one. Let's make some noise. At least I won't die alone. That's just typical.
New films available to buy or rent now.
We're going to survive. It's apocalypse now.
Welcome back. Now you can't have missed it. Everyone's been doing the Mannequin Challenge. They've got more elaborate as the weeks have gone by. The best sporting one seen so far has to be this one from the guys up at the Glasgow Warriors. So up at their training ground, everyone got involved. Good test of strength from the forwards there. Good holding technique, but no one really has gone for a big live mannequin challenge with, I don't know, maybe 200-300 people. That would be a real challenge. Well done, the Glasgow Warriors, but I think there's more to be done. So, lots of live international rugby this weekend. Italy against South Africa, Saturday, 1:45 p.m. on BT Sport 2 HD. Andy Good is going to be commentating on that one. Now, an update from the Stoop. Harlequins are taking on the Maori All Blacks, celebrating 150 years of Harlequins. The score there is Harlequins 3, Maori All Blacks 26. Now, you can have that, have a pencil. Talking about the Maoris, of course, they played against Munster last weekend at Thomond Park. Such difficult times for Munster. One of the most emotive images you will see is Ash Dixon, the captain of the Maori All Blacks, laid a shirt bearing the initials of Axel Foley on the halfway line and then presented the shirt to his two sons. An incredible moment. The reception in Thomond Park was absolutely sensational. Bravo, the Maori All Blacks. Lawrence, what have you got?
Well, we've seen some spectacular tries scored across the weekend, but perhaps nothing quite as spectacular as this one from Charlton Rugby Club. Let's have a look at this. Unbelievable bit of skill. Let's have a look. So basically, he's ended up flicking it behind him, almost backhill. Let's have a little slow-mo of it again. Look at this for a piece of skill. Wonderful, wonderful piece of skill. Skills like that would not... Fantastic. So... skills like that would not go amiss in the Premiership, and a lot of composure shown there to put it off. Let's see if one of England's finest fly halves can match it.
Where is he?
Come on, Goody.
We'll give it a go.
Yeah.
Well done, bravo. Well done. Outstanding, outstanding. Now, the All Blacks will say that they were under strength when they were defeated by Ireland at Soldier Field in Chicago a couple of weeks ago. The Irish will say, no way, we beat you fair and square, and we'll do it again at the Aviva in next weekend. But between that, Italy had to face a wounded All Blacks. You can guess what happened.
It's a perfect November day for international rugby. Will it be normal service resumed by the men in black? We're in the Eternal City. Does hope spring eternal for the Azzurri Blue? Here goes Kruder. Terrific hands, and the gap opens, and barely a hand is laid on Malachi Fekitoa. Less than 4 minutes on the clock. Brilliant offload. Here's Dag, who's got eyes for the prize, and the prize is between the posts. The kick pass. Oh, and Taylor feeding the ball inside. This is brilliant stuff. And here goes Elliot Dixon to Stephen Luatua.
Well, what a magical piece of play from Taylor.
Aaron Smith onto Retallick and bursting through Wyatt Crockett. And they're just carving holes. And it's back the way we started. Malachi Fekitoa gets his second. Oh, a neat little interception. And now there's a chance here. Away and clear, and Italy are going to get their try. Tommaso Boni. It's taken a long, long time. Sopoaga. Oh, the inside pass to Naholo. Well, that was sublime from Lynette Brown. It has been a stunning display, and a display is what it's been by the All Blacks.
Big win for the All Blacks. Lawrence, that was always going to happen, particularly against Italy. What did the All Blacks do right this week that they didn't do so well against Ireland?
Yeah, tough day at the office for Conor O'Shea and Mike Catt's men. I think when the All Blacks aren't at full strength, there's a vulnerability there. But Lynette Brown coming back, obviously Israel Dag had an outstanding game, and Aaron Smith coming back in, certainly in the second half. So I think when they're back to full strength, they're a formidable side, and sets up a really interesting return match at the Aviva in Dublin.
That is going to be one to watch. Italy, of course, fielding a very, very young side. They will learn, you would hope, something from that encounter. Well, here's a roundup of the rest of the results from the weekend's other autumn internationals.
More than a year on from the World Cup quarter-final, Scotland suffered another agonising defeat to Australia. They led for much of the game until Tavita Kuridrani's late converted try gave the Wallabies a 23-22 victory. There were 2 tries in defeat for Hugh Jones on his first international at Murrayfield, but Stuart Hogg's face told the story of frustration. The powerful running of Wesley Fofana and a hat-trick of tries from Verimi Vakatawa helped France to an emphatic 52-8 win over Samoa. But victory came at a cost, with several players injured ahead of upcoming games against Australia and New Zealand. More than 50,000 fans saw Wales record their first win under coach Rob Howley. 14 of their points in a 24-20 victory over Argentina came from the boot of Lee Halfpenny, while the tries were scored by Liam Williams and Gareth Davis. A big relief for the Welsh as they ended a run of 5 successive defeats. Sandwiched in between 2 games against New Zealand, Ireland fielded a much-changed lineup against Canada and won 52-21. Luke Marshall scored one of 3 first-half Irish tries, and 5 more followed after the break, including a second for Tiernan O'Halloran. Now for that rematch with the All Blacks. And here are the latest world rankings, with Ireland still 5th. England remains 2nd, while Wales have climbed a place to 6th. Scotland are 9th.
So a busy round of international matches. Now, I should just explain why we have everyone here in their high-vis jackets. These are, not all of them, but many of the honorary stewards from Twickenham. Give them a round of applause. Good to see you here. Well done. Outstanding. Thanks for keeping us safe, and apologies on everyone's behalf who spilt a mountain of beer mugs over you as they've staggered up and down those steps at Twickenham. Great to have you here. Now, Those autumn internationals. Let's start with the Scotland defeat, Goody, to Australia. More pain, more agony for Scotland. Greg Laidlaw has gone public saying the team need to grow up right the way through the team. What do you think he's trying to say there?
It's just coming down to confidence and the close games. So you think back to the World Cup last year when they lost another one-point ball game to Australia. I think this game was a bit different because they actually attacked really well, so their confidence in attack is coming on, but their understanding of how to win a really close game. Australia were down to 14 players at the end there when they got the winning try. And obviously, Greg Laidlaw missed a few kicks at goals as well, didn't he? But the difference there, one-point ball game, he's kicking at 60%. He's normally a world-class kicker. It's just that understanding, that confidence of going on to win a game.
Nigel, what would you do if you're in that situation? Now you're sort of thinking more about the mind games. When you've got a team which appear to have a mental block about making that next step, you can't obviously say what the exact process is, but are there things that could be said, can be done to try and encourage a team to break through it?
I think if you listen to Goody, their attack is getting better, but it's that ability to finish games. You see it time and time again with good sides. Good sides will keep playing. If they go down, they'll keep playing. And sides who are just happy to be in there, sides who, whether it's football, rugby, whatever, it's almost they want to finish the game 2 minutes early. You know, Manchester United, how many games did they win in the last, in injury time? Bath. Yeah. You know, how many times have we won games in injury? Yeah. It's the ability to keep playing. And don't make excuses or say, hey, you know, we've lost again by a point, we're getting better. Actually say, no, that's not good enough. What are the things they're doing well? What are the things we need to work on? And let's commit to doing it right and not settling for a 1-point loss to an Australia side who itself have had their problems.
Yeah, we're interested to see what Vern Cotter can do and then what Gregor Townsend can do when he takes over in the new season. Lawrence, what do we make of Wales' performance against Argentina? Emotive times. They got Alan Wynne-Jones back. The whole Welsh squad turned up at the funeral for Alan Wynne's father, which is why he obviously didn't play in that game against Australia. But a big improvement from that game against Australia?
Yeah, it was a big improvement. You know, Sean Edwards said that he felt he was out-coached in that Australian performance. I don't think they expected. I mean, they did expect a tough game against Australia, but they didn't expect to get thumped quite in the way that they did. And it was important they got back to winning ways. You could ask yourself, Argentina have played better in the past. I'm not sure they asked that many questions of this Wales defence, particularly defensively. But it was good for Wales, confidence-wise, when you've come off the back of a thumping, just to get back to winning ways, get that crowd behind them, because they've got some tough games ahead in the autumn as well.
On one point on Wales, their attack wasn't great, but Liam Williams was outstanding, wasn't he? He was absolutely world-class bolt on for the Lions, I reckon.
Yeah, interesting. And of course, having Alan Wynne back, he is just a rock for that Welsh team. Ireland did fantastically well, beating Canada. The best news to come is that Ireland have officially put in their bid for the 2023 Rugby World Cup. Formally announced 12 potential venues, including Celtic Park in Derry. Other stadiums include the Aviva, the RDS Thomond Park and Croke Park. All of us, I would imagine, unless we have a vested interest in the other countries, which I think are France and America, we all want Ireland to win this, don't we? A World Cup in Ireland, how cool would that be? That would be sensational. Great stuff. Good luck to them. Now, you may remember that last week the UK Armed Forces joined us on the show to promote their remembrance fixtures. And here's how the women's team got on against the Welsh women's side at the BT Sport Cardiff Arms Park on Saturday.
Honour is a massive part of what tonight is, and also a privilege to be selected out of the 3 services to be here and represent on behalf of not just women's rugby but Forces Rugby.
Wales invited us, which is a privilege for us. The majority of the players have been away on operations. We've got soldiers, sailors and airmen at the moment away on operations, and having the opportunity to pay our respects was fantastic. It's nice to have a service woman who's just won another Olympic gold to be able to come along and give the shirts out to the players who are deserving on Remembrance Day.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a really significant moment for them. It's a significant moment in their season. It's kind of, the 3 services coming together as one, and it's a big game against Wales. So, it's a real honour. Early on today, everyone's kind of had their moment to sit down and reflect and think about kind of things that have happened in the past that enable us to live the lives that we have. I think as the girls go out to play on the pitch tonight, it's not just about them, it's playing for all those other people who've gone before them as well, and I'm sure they'll think about that and reflect on it before and after the match.
Make the most of this moment because before you know it, it'll be your last one.
within the combined service team, you have a number of internationals already, so it's good that we're pushing the standards. If we wanted to, we could play a lesser team and have an easy run out. But I think the whole idea of wearing the shirt and wearing the poppy with pride is that you want to fight at the hardest level, and that's what the guys are doing today. For the girls on the pitch today, this is their send-off. This is them remembering the people that can't be here today. So when you go out in the field, you give absolutely everything. So every tackle, every run, you put it in for the people that can't be here. So it means everything.
What a fantastic effort from the team. Absolute honour to play with these girls. Like, from the bench to the management, everybody's put their all in. We can hold our heads high with our performance, but we really have marked today. We put our all on the line. Very, very emotional. As I said, today is an emotional day. It's not just about the game, it's a lot. It's about servicemen and women around the world now, in the past and in the future. And we have done our all today, and this is how we remember them.
Congratulations to everyone involved in that game. The men's remembrance fixture is on Monday, the 21st of November at the Rec Bath, taking on the UK Armed Forces. Get along there if you possibly can and support them. Now, coming up, we talk Anglo-Welsh accent and we talk all things American rugby with Dan Lyle. He's going to hit the smash-o. He'll be the 50th person to do so. How will he get on? We'll find out after the break. See you in a few minutes.
What's full the traffic? Oh, it's the BT Sport charity car wash. Not usually this busy.
Yeah, but it's the rugby boys' turn, isn't it?
Hey, Jenny.
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 Hello.
The car doesn't need cleaning. Not even dirty.
What's going on here?
No idea. Happens to me all the time lately.
Hey, Casanova.
The new Mocha X with Wi-Fi hotspot for up to 7 devices. It's your life. Go drive it.
Excited?
Yeah.
Sure you got everything?
Yeah.
Tickets?
Check.
Racing post?
Check.
Binoculars?
Check. Great coral offer.
Brolly?
Check. Neat.
Coral, we've got racing covered. Well, almost.
Please bet responsibly.
Follow the night, can't stand the light. One day I'll fly away, leave all this to yesterday. What more can your love do for me? When will love be through with me? One day I'll fly away, leave all this to yesterday.
For over 250 years, we've been helping families take their next step.
We sent men beyond our atmosphere, but the open space gave way to an insurgency.
Captain's dead.
So who has the con, Gator?
I believe you do, sir.
Salt, you with me?
Always.
You lack what it takes to win this war.
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Available now. Play map packs 30 days early. Only on PlayStation 4. For the players.
Daddy! What does giff-gaff mean?
Giff-gaff is... It's the power to be in control of your own destiny.
You will stay on the same plan for 2 whole years.
Oh, George, that's a long time.
But your plan isn't flexible.
I need flexibility.
At giff-gaff, we don't do 2-year contracts, just flexible plans. So come join us. giff-gaff, the mobile network run by you.
Green light. See? Making time already. And again.
Follow me, guys, because I'm winning tonight.
Drivers win at Confused.com.
Welcome back to Rugby Tonight. Now, just a quick one. Nigel, this is your first time in the studio. However, I realise now why I've always felt as though your presence has been with us. Let us go back to our sign for the Rugby Tonight Ruck and Maul. There you are.
That is me.
In all your glory. Look at that.
Yes.
The unmistakable. Wearing your swimming cap. That's good to see.
Cap.
We have a... there we go. Being injured yet again. Andy Good, I'm sure, he's got a contact for you. You can sort that out. Is it too late for him?
It's never too late, mate, to get some new hair.
Never too late.
I've been like this since I was 17 years old.
Great stuff, great stuff. Now, on a slightly, well, very much more serious note, another picture behind us of the late, great Jonah Lomu. Worth mentioning that in 2 days' time, it'll be a year since the great man left us. There is a dinner later on this month to commemorate him. It really does make you realise we lost an absolute gem when we lost Jonah Lomu. Now, next Wednesday, of course, Champions League has returned, which means we can't mess around in our favourite playground. So it'll be Rugby Tonight Extra, 10 o'clock on BT Sport 1 HD. We'll be with Gloucester and we'll be with the England camp ahead of their match against Argentina. Now, Lawrence, the Twitter sphere has been going crazy.
Yeah.
What have you got
Well,
for
it
us?
feels like the Mitchell brothers have been reunited here. But, yeah, the Twitter sphere, we asked people to talk about their eligibility of international rugby and some pretty strong views. Ollie G, the rules are farcical. Killing two-tier nations should be 5 years minimum, preferably 7. That's quite strong. Paul Hughes has said, you should only play for the country of your birth. It makes the whole system a joke otherwise. And finally... we've had a tweet from Rick who says 3 years is way too short. Teams can start to lose their identity. Football has it right. There we go. Pretty strong views.
Yeah, and of course, Bill Beaumont, Augustine Pichot definitely looking into this to try and sort this out. One thing very much at the top of the agenda for World Rugby. We'll see how that develops. Well, talking about players' development, the Anglo-Welsh had its second round of matches. It was a big night for Bristol as they took on Sale, and we had our first genuine Anglo-Welsh encounter as Exeter Chiefs welcomed the Cardiff Blues to Sandy Park.
There's lots of space in behind, and Boyle, he's dug that through nicely. Will it sit up for the new boy? Oh, yes it will! Jason Woodward, less than 10 minutes into his debut, a vital score for his new club. So what a chance this is. Taken in by Sorensen. And now the drive.
Oh, they're sitting very, very well
Hawkins, very nicely poised, Rob Hawkins. Oh, that was clever, very clever. And Williams is there to finish it off. Bristol manning the barricades because Sale are cranking it up here. Through Aulika, who's over the line. Try.
Yeah, he's pretty unstoppable from that range.
They are making headway. Woodward with Searle. Tubby racing through. That is glorious. Jack Tubby with the try. A seminal moment. The rot stops. Mark Tainton and Bristol have a win. A priceless win.
this is an opportunity for the youngsters to prove themselves.
Exeter put a very, very strong first team out, so huge opportunity for these youngsters.
Great angle in midfield. Shiki! Oh, what a start for the Blues. And Sandy Park is silenced. On the arcing run, then the pop back inside to Ben White. Good offloading, good play from the forwards. Simmons. Exeter on fire, backs and forwards combining. Campagnaro, Dolman with a little grubber kick. Was that the right call? Charge down. Where's this one? Straight into the hands of the Exeter player. And it's Michele Campagnaro's first try in Exeter colours. Simmons dummies, goes for the offload himself. Little kick. Welch on the far side. Has he got the bounce? Yes, he has. All too easy. Townsend, Simmons, dancing feet from the youngster, and the offload. Terrific stuff. That's Ben Jones, got the distance. This worked well, and that's straight into the hands of the Blues player with the offload, and Reen Williams gets the run in. We have a game on. Oh. Ben Jones, confused message, and this could be gift wrapped for the Chiefs. They're queuing up on the outside, and they're doing their best to make a mess of it. The try was an inevitability despite Exeter's hardest efforts. In the end, the Blues comfortably beaten by an experienced, powerful Exeter Chiefs side.
So some big results there, important results. Big one for Scarlets, impressive over Bath. Harlequins maintain their 100% record with their win over the Ospreys. The impressive result though, the important one, that win for Bristol. Their first of the season, overturning Sale at Ashton Gate. Saracens back to winning ways. Northampton, they're undefeated in the Anglo-Welsh, as are Leicester Tigers. Wasps imperious against Worcester, and we just saw a big win for Exeter Chiefs over a very young and inexperienced Cardiff Blues. There are still some remaining fixtures from round one. The Pro 12 was up in action, so the Welsh teams didn't play there. Blues against the Ospreys, Dragons against Scarlets. That is this Friday. Alex, this competition, the Anglo-Welsh, formerly the LV Cup, you would have played in this. How important a tournament was it in your development as a rugby player?
Yeah, I saw it as a huge opportunity for me to play some games. So my first season at Wasps, when Andy was still on fire, I couldn't get in the Premiership team, so that was my first chance.
Gave me a holiday as well, so it was good.
Yeah, so that was my first chance to put the shirt on and play. And you look at some.
It was a bit of a loose shirt when you put it on.
Exactly.
Let's take it in.
Exactly, yeah. But you look at some of the names who have won the Breakthrough Player Award, and the likes of Jack Knoll and Ollie Devota, who then went on to achieve great things for their club, playing in the Premiership and the European competitions. I think it's definitely a pathway for young players to get some first-team opportunities. Yeah.
And Lawrence, it's important for coaches to see how these young players react under pressure. Bristol under huge pressure coming into that game. They got the win, and some players really stepped forward. This young lad, Jason Woodward, really caught the eye for them.
Yeah, it's been a really tough season for Bristol because losing is not much fun at all. But getting a win will do a huge amount for their confidence. And as you say, it's an opportunity, as Alex said, for young people to shine here. You don't get many opportunities, particularly when your side are on the back foot, as Bristol have been for large parts of the season. So it must be a welcome relief for Mark Tainton, who's taken over from Andy Robinson, just to try and see his side getting on the front foot, giving people like Woodward a chance. But I have to say, it's a long season ahead for Bristol, I'm afraid.
Well, let's hear from the young man, see what he thinks about life in general.
And you didn't take any time introducing yourself to English rugby or Anglo-Welsh rugby, because last Friday your debut was just a cracker, wasn't it?
Yeah, except for that first touch of the ball, I think I got hit pretty hard and sort of sitting on the ground going, what's all this? But it was a good debut. The boys played really well, and obviously the past performances haven't sort of suggested the club's been going great, but I've seen the effort that's been put in, and some of those games of the boys have come really close to getting a win, and thankfully we could put that out there on Friday night, and it's put us in a good front foot going forward.
And then the rugby.
Yeah, good debut for him. A good win for Bristol over the Sale Sharks. Goody, they had Josh Charnley playing, the Wigan Rugby League legend, just easing his way into the Union game. And when you're a winger, it's just frustrated if you're not getting that ball. Let's have a look at this. This is a man who's thinking, come on, please, let me play.
Yeah, I mean, undoubtedly, he's brilliant at rugby league, but he is learning the game. And if you just see, there's a few times he desperately wants the ball there. Tom Arscott, I think, goes inside a few defenders, but he looks a little bit lost at times. And this is his development in terms of how he's going to play as a winger. Unfortunately, again, the ball doesn't quite get out to him. He just gets a bit frustrated. But you just see he's really flat at times, looks a little bit lost on the blind side, pointing for a kick. Is he looking for a 40-20? Not too sure. But obviously his education, I spoke to Steve Diamond about him at the weekend. You see again, he's too flat, looking for a kick through, doesn't touch it again. But Steve Diamond actually thinks he's really easy to coach and learn the game. And hopefully we'll see some really good things with him ball in hand, especially after his stint at Wigan and seeing how good he was there.
The key thing is give him time. He has to have time, doesn't he?
Yeah, give him time, absolutely. I mean, he's got huge potential, but I think he might realise, actually, I might have to go looking for the ball, because in rugby union as a winger, particularly on the right wing, if I wait for the ball to come to me, as we saw on that clip, he's going to be waiting a very long time.
That's why Chris Ashton's so good, though, isn't it? He obviously learnt that and went looking for the ball, and we know he's the best poacher for tries in the Premiership.
Well, even Jason Robinson, when he came to Bath, when he was when it first went professional, he was always off his wing. He was hovering behind the ruck. He would attack forwards on the side of ruck, slow and ponderous, and he would make a name for himself by just getting involved.
Yeah, we'll see how he develops. Interesting to keep tabs on him. Goody, what do you make of this young lad, Joe Simmons from Exeter Chiefs? Alex is probably thrilled that there's another young, exciting fly half coming through the ranks. But he stepped up and he looked absolutely to the manner born.
Yeah, he certainly did. Nice little kick here. Not sure whether it was meant or if it was off his shin. But he's a huge talent. Obviously, at Exeter, you just see a lovely long ball there into space, Welch on the outside, and then he's got some decent footwork as well. Looks for the offload, understands that short ball wasn't on, that led to a try. But obviously, for Exeter, they've got Steenson there, who's the captain at 10. Slade has been playing there a little bit, but it just shows that at Exeter there is this sort of momentum of players coming through the academy that they're building their squad around, and he's certainly one for the future.
They certainly might not have to break the bank then to get George Ford.
No.
Discuss. Excellency, and his brother Sam Simmons, he was absolutely outstanding on the open side. Interesting that Rob Vickerman, who was with us there as a reporter, says he thinks that Sam Simmons could potentially move into the midfield. He was that good, that quick, had such good skills. We will see how these young boys develop. Round 3 of the Anglo-Welsh Cup takes place in late January. We look forward to watching more from that competition. But now to the top 14. Here's Nick Verdier from the Rugby paper with a report on this weekend's results.
The shock of the top 14 last weekend came from Bayern, who, despite being down to 14 men for over 45 minutes, managed to beat leaders Clermont. Post and champions Racing 92, while Bordeaux-Bègles needed a last-minute penalty from Lionel Boxis to win in Grenoble. Lyon should have left Montpellier with a bonus point win, and a referee gave 2 yellow cards to the host in added time for repeated infringement at the scrum. We refused to award Lyon a match-winning penalty try, and they suffered a 20-25 defeat. Castres did not have to force too much to beat Brive, while La Rochelle left it very late, but they managed to beat Toulouse and close the gap with Clermont to 2 points at the top of the table. The last game of the round saw Mike Ford play his first game in charge of Toulon at the Stade Mayol, and it looked like a bonus point win over Stade Francais when they led 21-0 after 20 minutes. But they failed to capitalise after that, and only a try from Arnonou against 2 for Stade Francais meant it was only a regular win for Toulon.
A win nonetheless, which means Toulon are third in the table. Clermont's advantage over La Rochelle now looks far more slender. Montpellier and Bordeaux are 4th and 5th, Toulouse slipped to 6th, while defending champions Racing 92 remain in mid-table.
Great stuff. Now time to introduce our next guest. Born in Louisville, Kentucky, he could have played American football. He had tryouts for the Minnesota Vikings, for the Washington Redskins, but he chose rugby. He captained the USA Eagles. He had 7 seasons at Bath. He is now one of the big hitters in the world game. Please welcome Dan Lyle.